Clark County 911.
Hey, I was gone for the past week or so, and someone broke into my house.
And what is your name, sir?
It's Jimmy Zhong, Z-H-O-N-G. I'm having a panic attack.
Okay. Do you need an ambulance?
This is how the strangest story that we don't hear every day began. Jimmy, 28 years old, from Athens, Georgia, called 911 because he needed help, but ended up losing $3.36 billion because of that call. I explore here how people got rich so you can do the same. In today's episode,
I'ma move it. I'ma move it.
the Jimmy Zhong case. Jimmy Zhong was born on May 24, 1990, in New Jersey. His childhood was sad. His relationship with his parents was severely strained. The parents fought continuously. For all intents and purposes, Jimmy grew up without any parental guidance, care, or affection. He barely knew his father, who spent his waking hours buying and selling cheap goods. His mother was a nurse who worked the night shift and slept during the day. She provided Jimmy with no maternal attention or affection. Jimmy has a younger sister, but he never had a relationship there either. He believes his parents divorced when he was in middle school or high school. Yeah, he believes. He doesn't know for sure. His father provided no financial support to the family. Although Jimmy continued to reside in his mother's home, he had no relationship with her, and he was essentially a stranger in his own home. Jimmy was bullied by his peers because he was different. He was extremely shy, overweight, and most significantly, suffered from undiagnosed autism spectrum disorder. He was actually tormented by his school peers, including publicly having his pants pulled down at a football game and being punched for no other reason than to brutalize him emotionally and physically. All of this made him hide in his room and focus on his computer skills. He learned coding in middle school and did very well in high school, and in the fall of 2008, at the age of 18, he entered the University of Georgia, where he eventually graduated.
If you had an approximate amount to say the total value was of the money?
Probably close to $400,000.
On March 13, 2019, after returning home to find someone had broken a window, entered, and stolen $400,000, Jimmy called 911 to report the theft. You're probably wondering how such a young guy managed to make so much money that $400,000 can be sitting in his house just like that. Well, in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto, an anonymous person under that pseudonym, created Bitcoin, whose current price is around $37,000 per coin. Jimmy came across the white paper shortly after its creation, and since he was already deeply interested in technology and innovation, he was one of its early adopters. He actually contributed to the code on multiple occasions. In 2009, he mined a lot of Bitcoin with his laptop processor, but the value at the time was nearly nothing, so he put it down and forgot about all of that. Later, when the price went up, Jimmy remembered that he had plenty of coins and tried to take them, but forgot where they were. However, according to his writing on the Bitcoin forum in December 2013, we see that after a year of struggling with his memory, ouch, and technology, he managed to recover most of those coins, but 5,000 Bitcoins remained forever lost due to a hardware failure. For the record, 5,000 Bitcoins is $185 million at the current price. Being friendless and most importantly without a family with whom he had no contact since he started college, Jimmy used alcohol to treat his loneliness and sadness. With the newfound money, he started abusing drugs because, as he says, of wanting to black out and, I guess, not knowing about reality. When he was conscious, he tried to fix reality by buying friends. I mean, he didn't think that way. Although Jimmy is very smart, his autism and lack of support from his family has resulted in underdeveloped social skills. He believed they were there for him, not for the money. The truth is, the only friend Jimmy had was his dog, Chad. Jimmy spent $500,000 on partying and gave away Bitcoin as gifts, worth almost $3 million based on the Bitcoin value at the time. But the only one staying by his side was Chad. Then something happened that made him one of the richest men in the world. and then it ruined his life.
If you had an approximate amount,
Probably close to $400,000.
After this 911 call, the police came to Jimmy's house to investigate. Jimmy was known to the police for two reasons. Since his house was equipped with a high-end security system, cameras, Jimmy constantly helped the police when there were crimes in the area, giving them all the data that his system collected. Another reason why the police already knew him was that he was caught in possession of drugs and was convicted for that. He lived in a modest house from where the said money was stolen, although after that incident he bought another one when he felt safer. The police were intrigued by this case because the stolen money was in a suitcase bought on Amazon, which Jimmy says he carried with him to impress girls. That was not successful for him, he admitted. The suitcase was hidden behind some air conditioning pipe or something, and since the thief knew exactly where to go, judging by the camera footage, the assumption was that it was someone who had been there before. You know, a friend. Anyway, after taking all the information, the police left. Nothing happened for a long time, but then after 2 years, the police called Jimmy wanting to talk to him again. They said they were joined by two experts who will help them find the money that was stolen from him. But that was a lie. Back in Jimmy's drug days, he bought the stuff a couple of times on the Silk Road site. After about 2 purchases, Jimmy didn't want to be around anymore, so he decided to withdraw the Bitcoin he had previously deposited. In the process, he accidentally pressed the withdraw button twice. Then he noticed a bug in the software that caused him to receive twice the amount he actually intended to withdraw. Seeing that glitch, Jimmy decided to create several accounts and steal more money by simply pressing the button. Although he could have stolen hundreds of thousands of bitcoins, Jimmy stopped at 50,000, valued at the time at around $620,000. This was in September 2012. To those who are not familiar with cryptocurrencies, this sounds terrible. But these kinds of thefts are not only common, they are a legitimate business. Not only in crypto, but also in fiat money processors. So, wherever some kind of money or other values are transferred on the internet. It goes like this. People, hackers, devote their knowledge and time to finding software bugs, or stumble upon them by accident, like Jimmy, whose existence allowed them to steal money. After hackers steal money, the owner of the site they stole from offers them a reward for what they did. I know, it sounds crazy, but it's not. The victim's goal is to debug code and improve security. So the thief tells where the bug is and how they exploited it, and in return, the victim of the theft pays them. So according to Jimmy, the owner of the Silk Road site, Ross Albrecht, contacted him over the Silk Road messaging service and asked how he obtained the Bitcoin. Jimmy explained the flaw to Albrecht, who in turn unsolicited sent him an additional 5,000 Bitcoin as a thank you for explaining the fault in the site. But Silk Road was a bad place. Between 2011 and 2013, the site traded all kinds of stuff for the bad guys, from drugs to weapons, so it was logically targeted by the authorities. Its founder, Ross Albrecht, was convicted in 2015 of 7 charges related to the internet site, and he was sentenced to life in prison. Remember when the police wanted to talk to Jimmy again? You know, when the experts came with them to help find who stole Jimmy's money. Well, those experts were an IRS agent and a blockchain expert who were looking for those 50,000 stolen bitcoins. On November 2021, after searching Jimmy's house, police found a popcorn tin containing a single board computer wrapped in a towel, which contained bitcoin stolen from Silk Road. In addition, they found a safe in the floor where there were more bitcoins, both digital and physical, which were minted in the early period of Bitcoin, as well as some precious metals and dollars. Jimmy, according to his claims, mined around 300,000 bitcoins from 2009 to 2021. Although he spent a lot on parties and gifts for friends, he invested a lot in businesses and kept the rest in bitcoin and dollars. The government took everything he had, 51,680 bitcoins. Jimmy's 80% interest in RE&D Investments, a Memphis-based company with substantial real estate holdings, almost $662,000 in cash, plus the precious metal they found in his home. In total, the government forced him to hand over $42.7 million in legitimately obtained Bitcoin and property. After this happened, Jimmy said that he only has 2 best friends left, but they have new jobs, so he doesn't have much contact with them. He said he sometimes feels their lack of contact with him is because he is broke. Jimmy's lawyer asked the court not to give him prison time because there was no victim in this case and Jimmy needs to take care of his old, sick dog. The judge sentenced him to 1 year and 1 day in prison in April 2023. Jimmy doesn't know if his mother, father, and sister know what his situation is. He hasn't heard from them since he was 18.
Clark County 911.
The police never found who stole $400,000 from Jimmy.